Hello and welcome back to Mate's Tottenham blog and to another episode of Transfer Talk. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Christian Eriksen saga and looking at where he might end up at the end of this window. Before we get started in the video, please don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you. So I know we've all heard a lot over the last couple of weeks about Christian Eriksen in terms of the comments that he made and all these rumours that have been floating around the place about his future. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take a look at all of these different things that we've heard and try and break it down and analyse it and have a look if we can see where he might end up next season. So, there's no secret that Real Madrid have been interested in him for quite a long time, and that's not particularly surprising either because he is a world-class player and one who looks like he would fit really well into that Real Madrid team and, you know, might be one of their world-class Galacticos that goes on to win trophies at the club. And that just kind of felt like one of those transfer rumours that was always there, especially as a Tottenham fan, one that you're used to, until Eriksen made those comments in the Denmark training camp a couple of weeks ago, where he said he was open to a new challenge and moving on from the club was something that he was looking into. Now, since we heard about that, the Real Madrid rumours have escalated quite a bit, but there's also been the introduction of a lot of other rumours, such as PSG and Inter Milan also being interested in signing him. Now, from the Real Madrid and PSG side of things, there's the financial fair play rules that really come into effect here. Because Real Madrid already this window have signed Luka Jovic, Ferland Mendy, Eden Hazard, Takefusa Kubo, Eder Militao and Rodrigo. So their spending already in this window is almost at £300 million and they're yet to sell a player. So in terms of their financial fair play, we never really know what's going on there, but you'd have to feel that they are close to breaching those regulations and that they need to kind of hold back on their signings for the rest of the window. Unless of course they can sell on players and generate a bit of profit back from what they've spent. Also with them, their players are on awfully high wages, so they're spending, without these signings, just their weekly spendings are through the roof, and it's something that needs to be kept an eye on from their point of view. And from PSG, in the last couple of years, they've signed Kylian Mbappe and Neymar, and again, they're a team whose wages are absolutely massive. And they're also looking into signing Matthijs de Ligt from Ajax. So from both of them, it is a possibility, of course. I mean, they're clubs that Eriksen might see as a step up, which is what he said he's looking for, and clubs that he might go on and will win silver with. Inter Milan, they finished fourth in the Italian league last season and haven't really been that good in Europe since they reached the Champions League final back in, I think it was 2010. So from those three teams, Real Madrid and PSG are probably the most likely teams that he would move to. But then you have to kind of look at if he's actually a tactical fit and a player who would work well at those teams. And for Real Madrid, what we've heard is that Zinedine Zidane doesn't actually want to sign him. It's actually Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid president, who wants to bring him into the club. And Zidane is believed to understand that Eriksen is a similar player to Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, and he doesn't feel that he needs to improve in that area of the pitch. So Eriksen is a player he doesn't want at the club. And his main transfer target was Eden Hazard, who he has obviously brought in now. So it's hard to know who will win in that situation between Zidane and Perez, because obviously Zidane is a man who wants full control over the team, and that is one of the clauses in his contract when he rejoined Real Madrid as manager, that he was going to have the kind of control over the players that were brought in and sold at the club. But Perez, the character that he is, I know we've seen it a lot since he became Real Madrid president, that he likes to dictate things like that go on, mainly for publicity. But if he wants a player, he usually gets him regardless of what the manager thinks. So it'll be interesting to see how that one will unfold and whether or not Eriksen will actually move on to Real Madrid. Obviously, I hope he doesn't, but I mean, you never know in this day and age in football. PSG, they're a team who win trophies, but they're not in a very prestigious league. I mean, Monaco are the only team that has challenged them really in the last 5 or 6 years. They won the league once, and they've now fallen away, nearly were relegated last year. So they seem to win everything in the French tournaments, apart from the cup last season, and they don't do well in Europe at all. So I don't think Eriksen will be looking at them as a step up from Tottenham, even though they're probably a bigger club and they do win more. In the overall kind of grand scheme of things, they're not much of a step up from Tottenham. And Inter Milan, as I said, fourth in the Serie A, not doing well in Europe at all in recent years. I don't think he'll be moving on to any of these clubs this summer. Other names that were kind of thrown in the hat were Juventus and Bayern Munich, but I mean they've only been kind of small rumours. We haven't heard a lot about that. So at the moment, thankfully, it's kind of looking like Eriksen might be forced to stay at the club this window. Now, the latest rumours that we've heard is that he is looking to sign a contract, and Ricky Sachs, the Spurs in the know, as they call him, has reported that Eriksen has told his agent to contact Florentino Perez and see where they're at in terms of that transfer, and if Real Madrid are looking into signing Eriksen. And if they don't get the response that they're looking for, Eriksen has informed his agent that he's going to immediate negotiations with Daniel Levy and look to extend his contract at Tottenham. Because of course his current contract expires next summer, so there's not long left in that. And if he doesn't go this summer, it's absolutely vital that Tottenham get him to sign a new contract, even if it is just to get a higher transfer fee next summer. Because if we were to lose a player of his quality on a free transfer next summer, it would be detrimental to the club. I mean, he's a player that absolutely needs to be replaced if he's gone. We don't have the quality in the team to just put someone else in there. So if he is to go, we need to get money, and we can't afford to let him go for free. And it's kind of hard to see what's going to happen, because if he goes, if he stays, there's advantages and disadvantages to it all. Of course, I mean, he's one of our best players. If he does go, if we get a good transfer fee, and the latest rumours are about £80 million is what Tottenham's looking for him. If we can get a player like Giovanni Lo Celso or Danny van de Beek in to replace him, or other players maybe that we haven't heard of in terms of signing for Tottenham yet. I mean, there could be advantages to it. We could even pick up 2 or 3 players for the money that we get in for him. But if he stays, even though he hasn't been on form lately and he does look like he's a bit distracted and he doesn't want to be at the club anymore, he's still a world-class player, and on his day he can do absolutely anything. We have to look at the goals that he provided for us this season. I mean, that one against Brighton, when he scored that last-minute winner that effectively got us into the top 4, one of those crucial 3 points. And he was so good in the Champions League as well. He scored that winning goal against Inter Milan at Wembley. Even as a player who was distracted and so poor this season, he was so crucial to our success in terms of getting the top 4 and reaching the Champions League final. So it would be sad to see him go. 6 years at the club. He's been a great servant to us, and he came in kind of as a prospect for the future. Maybe at the time, one that Daniel Levy was bringing in just to improve as a player and then move him on for profit. But in the way that the club has developed since he's come in, since Pochettino has been appointed, his purpose at the club seems to kind of have shifted to be one of those players that can spur us on to silverware. Because in all honesty, that wasn't really a goal at the club. When he came in, it was Andre Villas-Boas, Tim Sherwood were kind of the managers around the club at the time. So the club has certainly shifted since we've brought him in, but there may still be that side of things where Daniel Levy wants to make the money off the player that he has developed. We signed him for £12 million, I think, from Ajax back then. So it's hard to tell where Daniel Levy is at in this whole situation. I imagine Pochettino is certainly hoping to keep Eriksen at the club. No matter what, he wouldn't really be worried much about the financial side of things. I'm sure he has his transfer budget to improve the club this window. But I mean, I don't think anyone really knows what's going to happen this window, but it will be interesting to see how it unfolds. And leave down in the comments below what you think about the whole thing so far, and whether or not you think Eriksen will stay at the club. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching.